Some quality on the bench, though, haven't they, Catherine? In particular, Cara Simon, who's not played as many minutes as she might have liked.
She sure hasn't played as many as she had liked, but it's great to see her back in the Liberty A League and getting back on the pitch. And you can see that Emily Husband has been a lot more careful with her, and they're slowly easing her back into it. They don't want to lose her for the rest of the season, so they need to be careful in how they inject her into the game. And what a player to have on the bench and to come on as a substitute, because she's definitely that impact player that any coach would love to have on their bench to put on.
And it's Melbourne Victory goalkeeper Courtney Newborn. She actually has an 83% passing accuracy rate, which isn't bad for a stopper.
Courtney Newborn's fantastic. She's such a great goalkeeper, and you know, she's played in the start of the season for the Central Coast Mariners, and now she's gone in as an injury replacement for Melbourne Victory. So this is going to be an interesting game today for her, but she's been around for a very long time. She's played in the NPL with Sydney Uni. Emily Husband knows her very, very well as well, but she's been fantastic in the goals, not only for the Central Coast Mariners at the start of the season, but also now that she's been there as a replacement for Lydia Williams for Melbourne Victory.
And it is Victory who are getting us underway, taking the goal to our left in the first half. And an early touch for Jamila Ranking at fullback. Looking at the two sides, though, Catherine, are you surprised that Rola Badawia isn't in the starting 11 for the Mariners today, having played all 15 of their previous games?
I am really surprised, but with Emily Husband having her on the bench, I'm probably thinking that she's got a bit of a niggle at the moment. They don't want to risk it. It's really tough for the Central Coast Mariners. They lost one of their, key players in Taryn King. Probably the depth across the whole squad it's probably a little bit of a tough one for the Mariners, and she's probably been a little bit more cautious in how she's managing her players and her team. And another thing about Rola Badawia is that she also played in the NPL, so a lot of these players haven't had much of a rest as well.
Well, great to have her on the bench. 5 goals to her name this season as well, and might be an impact a bit later on for the Mariners. Emma Checker with a throw. There's Emily Husband, former youth player with Manchester City and Leeds United. Was named the New South Wales NPL 1 Coach of the Year in 2022 after guiding Sydney University's first grade and reserve grade teams to title success.
I think Emily does just about everything at Sydney University. I remember when she came over and started her role there, she would look after SAP all the way through to first grade. She'd be on the pitch nearly 5 days a week. Early
ball forward and one for Lowe to chase. That's a nice early touch for Casey Dumont, back between the posts for the Mariners this afternoon. It's Peter Trimis. That's laid back by Karambassis. Interesting to see what formation that the Mariners do come up with. As I said at the top of the broadcast, there was 5 at the back on the piece of paper we were given, but that's not always an indication of where we're going to be. Gielnik finds Kellen Knight. Rankin beaten to it. And Jeff Hopkins, he had a storied playing career in the United Kingdom, capped 16 times by Wales in his international career. He's now, of course, a stalwart at the Melbourne Victory women's team, having been charge of the squad since 2016 and leading them to a fair bit of final success. They seem to kick into gear come finals time, the Victory.
They always do. They're such a big player in this competition, and Jeff's been around for such a long time. He knows how to manage teams. It's just about now with this Melbourne Victory team, he's got a lot of big names in this squad. It's not more about the football, but more about managing the personalities and getting the best out of the group.
Well, early touches from Wynett. Mackenzie Wynett to swing it into the penalty area, and that touch from Irwin. Luckily it wasn't too heavy for Dumont. Dealt with it nicely. Took the sting out of it, and Karen Bassis can launch one forward. Nice warm day for everybody out there again today. Not much shade for the players either, Catherine, across this wonderful venue.
It's a beautiful venue. What a great venue to play football at. And the Central Coast Mariners do such a great job in getting a lot of the local community out behind the games. And they've had some fantastic crowds this season as well.
The first of this, of course, a double header this afternoon. Mariners and Sydney FC to follow in the men's. Melbourne Victory starting well on the front foot. Gielnik tries to lift it into a danger area. Kellen Knight can go backwards and Caleb Morrison has made 80 clearances this season. Solid partnership with Tori Hansen in the centre of defence, the Victory skipper. Opportunity perhaps to put this into the penalty area towards the low, but the accuracy wasn't quite there. Plenty of early touches for Casey Dumont, which the goalkeeper will no doubt enjoy, as long as they're as soft as that.
It's always good to get your touches in the ball, especially in the first couple of minutes in the game. It starts to build confidence and starts to get you into the game a lot more.
One that's won the header. Gomez can bring it down. And that just went under the foot of Trimis. 8th start of the season for Peter Trimis. 7th time she's come off the bench as well. Jamila Rankin with the throw. Victory haven't kept a clean sheet since beating Canberra 2-0 in round 8. That's a run of 7 matches. They'll look to do better than that today as Wynett tries to pick her way through the crowd. Gomez under pressure from Chidiac. Irwin. Can find Martin. Does look like it is the 3 at the back. 3 central defenders and then a couple of wing backs in the shape of Paige Hayward and Faye Bryson. Here is Bryson, able to stretch the legs. Looking to send it forward to Ergamal. Top of the penalty area. Not much in the way of support for Ergamal at the moment. Happy to hold up and bring others into support, Quilligan being one of them. And then the delivery towards the far post, and there's a problem here, and a goal for the Mariners! A goal, a mix-up in the Victory defence, and the home side are off and running early.
Trimis has made a fantastic run there to the back post, and she hasn't stopped and hasn't given up on it and just got that little touch that she needed. You thought here when Ergamal was on the ball, you think that she was going to have a crack, but she keeps the ball in play, and Trimis at the back post.
The defensive effort from Jamila Rankin saw Trimis nick inside her. And well, it was an untidy finish, but they all count.
They sure do, and Jamila Rankin there, I think, was a little bit blindsided by Peter Trimis. Didn't see her coming from the blind side, and she nicks it and gets the Mariners in front here.
There's the ball, and it came off Trimis, just stuck her leg out and diverts it past Newborn, who was expecting her defender to deal with it. Well, I said that just prior to that Victory haven't kept a clean sheet since round 8. Well, they certainly haven't now. It's taken only 6 minutes. Trimis plays it forward and has it back again. Well, the Victory need a way back into this. They have scored in the first half of all 4 of their last 4 matches played, and in 9 fixtures overall this season. So they won't be too phased at having gone behind early. Courtney Newborn's clearance. Hansen can help it further forward. But just the start the Mariners would have wanted.
It's a massive start for the Mariners to go in against a team like the Melbourne Victory and get up 1-0 in the first 10 minutes. It's important for their confidence, and we know how well structured the Central Coast Mariners have been in defence, and this is something that they could take confidence from and really ride out the rest of this game. I know it's only early days, but their structure is so well, and Emily Husband has got them really, really well worked.
They're only a couple of goals shy of scoring 350 goals in the Women's A-League. Only Sydney FC, Canberra United and Brisbane Roar have scored more. If they're to get 3 points, they're going to need at least 2 today already. This is a replay of the challenge, a bit of a stretch. Meanwhile, Ergamal's getting on with it. Trimis, who scored the odd goal and went for the curler. Nice early start and bright start by the Mariners. Paige Hayward doing a good job in the middle in the first instance there.
Paige has been great for the Mariners. She spent a lot of time in the college system and has come back into the Liberty A-League. She got signed firstly with Adelaide United and now has made her way back to the Central Coast Mariners now. She's a Sydney girl and she's probably loving being back at home after spending so much time away, especially in America.
Morrison finds Checker, who opened the scoring last week against Brisbane. One of 2 goals she scored this season. Morrison again, a heavy touch, and that drew the foul. Annabelle Martin snuck in. Kayla Morrison. Well, that was an uncharacteristically heavy touch from her.
It is. It's not normally something that you see from Kayla Morrison. You can see she's scanning. She just takes us that little bit extra touch, not realising that Martin was close enough to close her down, and just gets caught there.
Well, the committee over the ball. Faye Bryson and Isabel Gomez with the chat with the skipper Galich. He's given whatever instructions she needs, and Bryson at the moment looks like the favourites to lift this. Playing it into that area, and that might be another free kick straight away. Just a change of angle and a yellow card, an early one too for Wynett. The best of challenges and poor old Annabelle Martin.
It was just a bit of a 50-50 ball there, and then she's just come in and not even seen the ball at all and actually just taken her out.
Well, if they wanted to change the angle of the free kick, they've done it quite well at the expense of Annabelle Martin's shins, mind you.
If they can get a goal from this, Russ, you'll take it.
Well, she's not going to be fazed by it at all, Martin, and she's going to take her place up in amongst that crowd of players in the penalty area. Quilligan and Trimis are there. Karan Bassis is in between them, a whole line of Victory defenders looking to deal with this free kick. Courtney Newborn will need to be on her toes. What can the Mariners do? They've gone short. It's one up the training grounds. The hit in the first instance wasn't the best. He's going to find his way through. There might be 2. Well, what a chance that was. I think it might have been Galich who stole in on the far post and, well, stud away from 2-0.
She sure did, and Bryson's done really well here. She's got the reflection here. She's gone in, she's getting in between players. She gets a little reverse ball into Galich, and then she's tried to, I'm not sure if she's actually trying to place that into the back post or she was trying to get the ball across the face of the goal there, but they've done super well there to retain the ball. And Melbourne Victory are looking not great in defence at the moment. They look like they're a bit sleepy and being more reactive than proactive at the moment.
It was neither one nor the other from Bianca Galich, was it? It was neither a shot or a pass to Karen Bassis, who was hanging around on the far post. Hasn't scored in the Liberty A-League. And there it was, and, well, won't be too far away. But the Mariners enjoying themselves at the moment. Gamal going to play it forward, and Morrison anywhere will do for the Victory right now. Irwin to send it wide again. Gielnik should be able to pick up the pieces, but stumbles. And now it's Martin to play it wide, and here goes the Mariners again. Hayward. Martin to lift it forward. And once more, they've stolen in behind into the 6-yard box. It might be 2 for Trimis. Well, it wasn't the most convincing of shots. It wasn't the most convincing of stops from Newborn, but she kept it out. And as far as the Victory concerns, that's the most important thing.
Very, very lucky there for the Melbourne Victory. It could have been 2-0 very, very easily. Trimis, you could see, gets onto the ball but doesn't realise how quick it's coming across. But great little cross in there, and Trimis just couldn't get that little bit extra touch on it.
Well, Quilligan's run and ball was excellent. Any sort of pace on the touch from Peter Trimis, and it was 2-0. And as you can see, 30 minutes in, Mariners enjoying the majority of the possession and the better of the chances, of course, and they lead. The one chance that they've had, they've taken. Ergamal can bring it forward. Runners either side. Ergamal might not need them. Tried to dance her way through herself. Tori Hansen did enough. But there's big, big swathes of Industry Group Stadium grass to run into at the moment for the Mariners, Catherine.
There sure is. The Mariners are definitely dominating at the moment. They're playing really well, especially building up from their back and playing through the lines and getting themselves progressing forward, and the victory just looked very uneasy at the moment, like a little bit rattled from going 1-0 down, but they need to regroup. They haven't had a touch in the opposition box either, so that's a bit of a tough one for a team like the Victory.
Well, they might now, with the effort from Gielnik. It wasn't too far away. Took it down nicely. Just the challenge did enough. Still haven't had a touch in the opposition box, but that's a bit better. Direct Route 1 football, but why not? Morrison's ball. Good touch from Gielnik, and then the pressure just forces shot a bit awry. They're coming back again through Gielnik here, though. Dancing into the area, and then Wynett, well, slips. Alex Gielnik once more. She thought she was upended.
She sure does. She always does want more. Gielnik is a winner. She always wants to win. She always wants to get the most out of games, and you could see the frustration on her face at the moment, but I'm sure she'll regroup this Melbourne Victory team and get them back into this game.
Karen Bassis with the challenge. I wonder if there was enough in it for the shout. Gielnik obviously thought so.
Whether it is or it isn't, Russ, as players, you're always shouting for it.
Of course. Caitlin Williams said no, though, and that's the important thing. Well, Morrison is having a very shaky start here at the moment. Kayla Morrison, and concedes another free kick with another loose touch. Not enjoying her afternoon out on Gosford at the moment, Kayla Morrison. Experienced campaigner, though. I'm sure she'll take a deep breath and refocus. And Emily Husband, we particularly pleased with what she's seen in the opening quarter of an hour. Have a look at the replay again, and there from Morrison kicks it into her own foot. Ask her to do that again, and she probably couldn't. Apollonia finds Checker. When you look around this Victory side, though, Catherine, there's plenty of experience, isn't there? Players who've been in these kind of situations before and can lift themselves from the ground.
Absolutely, there's plenty of experience in this side, and plenty of players there that have worn the green and gold and had plenty of claps for the Matildas as well. And sometimes you don't always start football matches great, and it's about that mentality and regrouping the group and getting the leaders on the pitch to be able to get everyone back on task. And one of the main things is when things aren't going right for you, like you can see with the Morrison and the touches at the moment, is we've got to take things back to basics and just get it back to simple.
You can see the Mariners fans enjoying themselves. Lewin plays it wide. The draw, they lost less matches last year than any other team in the competition, but they finished 4th, having drawn 8 of their 18 regular season games. If they could have turned a few of those draws into victories, they might have been okay. Ashley Owen wore that one then. Seen a slight stub mark on her thigh as she got up off the ground. Sarah D'Apollonia with the challenge. I've seen them given before.
We sure have. She's come up studs up in that challenge there, and Irwin's lucky that she's jumped up and got out of that tackle. But again, I think a little bit of frustrations there from D'Apollonia and the Melbourne Victory.
Not started the way they would have wanted, the visitors. It's going exactly the way that Mariners would have wanted at the moment. Long time to go, though, of course. Dumont happy to play it forward. Giving that away, though, to D'Apollonia. Ran away from Lowe, who's been on the periphery in the early stages. Haven't been able to get their top scorer on the ball too often. Morrison gives it away. Galich slips. And the ball's gone out of play, I think, here. There's a passing accuracy for you. 86% to the Mariners, 82 for the Victory. Not much in that. It doesn't tell the story, does it?
It sure doesn't. It's quite close there, but it doesn't really tell the story of how this game has been gone in the last 18 minutes.
Emily Husband just rejigging a few things. Ugamal looking to get away. Morrison with a more conventional clearance. Jeff Hopkins won't be phased. He's seen all this before as well. Bryson to go long, helped on his way by Gielnik. Throw will go the Mariners' way. Mariners now scored in each of their last 6 games. They've only drawn a blank in 3 of their 16 matches this season now. Well, it's pretty obvious. If you score goals, you give you a chance to win matches. Hansen. Time to pick the pass. Elects to go long. Not accurate enough. Not the kind of pass that Emily Gielnik really wants. She will chase them, though.
She sure will. We all know Emily Gielnik. She's such a workhorse, especially not having played for a long time and come back from that injury, and now seeing her back on the pitch has been fantastic.
Plenty of youngsters in the Mariners crowd. Here for the double-header today. Kicking off with this really important tie. D'Apollonia looks for Gielnik. She'll let it run, and an opportunity perhaps for Lowe to get involved from the pass from Rankin. Couldn't keep on her feet though, Rachel Lowe. Trimis back heel. Bryson battling with it. Rankin's won it back. Gielnik finds Wynett. Gielnik again. Isabel Gomez with the challenge. She's committed the most fouls in this Mariners outfit, 26 before today. That kind of bustling, well, you can make that 27. That kind of bustling, energetic player you want, though, in that role.
You sure do. She's been great for the Mariners this season. Another youngster that is still young but has played plenty of games now in the Liberty A-League. We know that she moved to Wellington last season to get, you know, more game time, and now moving to the Mariners. Emily Husband's known of Isabel Gomez for a long time, and now she's really finding her feet in this Mariners team. But she's such a workhorse, the way she gets up and down the pitch, and her defensive duties have been
That piece and swing it into the penalty area, away by Bryson. Good meaty clearance as well. Ergamal was challenging, and there was shouts for handball against D'Apollonia, and it's been heeded by the referee, Caitlin Williams. Fair to say Sarah D'Apollonia doesn't agree with it. Oh, it looked like a handball by Ergamal, if anything. Could have gone the other way. Do you call that streetwise, Catherine?
absolutely.
You're sitting here with a sly smirk on your face.
Again, doesn't matter, just always calling it. You always want it to go your way, and sometimes you can sway the referees in the way it gets said. And
Hansen's clearance. It's going to come for Trimis, who sent it into the middle, and again Hansen's going to have to clear it away. Not very far. Bryson to send it off, and the shot goalward from Quilligan is dipping, and it's hit the crossbar. Well, Newborn was a bit concerned as Tess Quilligan hit that one, and it could have gone anywhere, and it almost dropped in.
I don't mind that from Quilligan. Good on her for taking that touch and backing herself from that region there, from that area, and the way she brings it down on her chest, and she drops her shoulder, and it's nearly dropped, and it's just gone over there. Courtney Newborn was fortunate in that situation.
You can see by the look on her face, there was a moment when Courtney Newborn was a bit concerned. Woodwork to the rescue for the victory goalkeeper.
Well, it wouldn't be that long ago, Russ, that she would have been trying to save them against Quilligan at training with the Mariners.
Maybe Quilligan got one past her in training and thought, well, here we go. This is my range. Dumont, little slip there from Rankin. Allows Trimis to bring it down.
Great touch there by Trimis.
Gamal's touch doesn't match it. Difficult one for her, though. Hansen. Morrison. Gielnik coming noticeably deeper to get more possession, as is Rachel Lowe. And giving it away again. Morrison once more. And a chance for Gielnik to slide it through towards Gamal. May have gone the wrong side of the defender. We've both been watching Women's A-League for a long time, and I don't think I've seen Kayla Morrison make as many poor passes or errors in a whole season than she's done in the first 24 minutes here.
She has started this game off a little bit shaky, and it's been a little bit disappointing, not only for her but for the victory, especially when you've got someone like your leader in Kayla Morrison that does lead from that back line. And when things aren't going right for you, sometimes it does get a little bit off-putting for the whole team. So they just got to get, again, like I said, back to basics and keep it simple and get their touches on the ball. And that's probably why you're seeing the likes of Gielnik and Rachel Lowe coming a little bit deeper to want to get their touches and get on the ball and just build a bit of confidence within the whole team.
Well, you know for a fact that Morrison's not going to hide. Wouldn't bet against her getting up the other end on a set piece. Sometimes as a player you have those moments, don't you? You just have to stand there and shake your head and wonder what's going on. Gielnik. Wynett lets it run nicely, and it's opened up a bit of space here. Bryson's slip helped Wynett to send it into the middle. Good touch from Gielnik, and then couldn't get underneath it. Better from Melbourne Victory, though.
Much better there from the Melbourne Victory, and a great run in behind there from Gielnik as well. And Wynett's done well. She gets her head up. She plays the ball into that dangerous area. It's just unfortunate that Chids couldn't get the perfect touch to bring it down and get her body behind the ball to get a good shot on target.
Well, when she took that first touch, you were thinking maybe this was the moment, the quality that Alex Gielnik brings. She's only won 14 fouls, which is the most by a Victory player. She's only played 6 matches before today.
That's what Chids has in her locker. She's just so unpredictable when she gets on the ball. She's silky with the ball at her feet, and you don't know what she's going to do. And that's the greatest part of Gielnik's game. And it's fantastic to see her back in the Liberty A-League. She just lights up this league, and she's been a great asset for the Melbourne Victory.
Rankin holds off the challenge of her opposite number. Hansen. Checker wants it and gets it. Nice little drop of the shoulder. And flick towards D'Apollonia. Able to turn away. Rachel Lowe gets a touch, and the shot was coming in. Denied by Karen Bassis. Good challenge at the expense of a set piece. The first corner, I think, for the Victory.
Great tackle there by Karen Bassis. She's done really well to deny Rachel Lowe that opportunity. You don't want to give her any space in the box. She's taken a great touch to get past her, but Karen Bassis has done really well there to deny Rachel Lowe.
Kellen Knight to take. Victory loading the penalty area. Gielnik at the near post. Towering above a marker. Kellen Knight to lift it in. It's gone deep towards Hansen. It's come off a yellow shirt. We'll go again from the other side. Tori Hansen trying to peel in on the back post. Plenty of height in this Melbourne Victory outfit, of course. Kellen Knight with what will be an outswinger. Lifting it towards a bundle of players on the far post, and Dumont clutches it with those rainbow colour gloves. Sarah Langman had a good spell in between the posts. Good goalkeeper in her own right, but Casey Dumont, some experience to bring back in.
She sure is, Sarah Langman, and how spoiled are the Central Coast Mariners to have 2 great keepers like Langman and Dumont on the books, and to be able to shift between the two has been great for Emily Husband, but I'm sure a headache as well.
Yeah, blessed with some really good goalkeepers in the women's competition in Australia. Trimis, whose goals 7. Bryson, happy to go back to a goalkeeper. Gomez operating from that deeper role. Gamal came short and then went for the long, didn't get it. Morrison can tidy up at the back for the victory. Victory, you have left it late on a number of occasions this year. They've scored 4 stoppage time goals this season. 1 in first half time added on and 3 at the end of the match. Just proving you just don't finish until the whistle goes, do you?
Especially now, you start to get a lot more extra time in games. There's plenty of opportunities to keep going, and we know Victory have always been up there come the pointy end of the season. So, you know, especially with the experience of this team as well, there'll be definitely a lot of that never say die attitude in the squad.
What we are noticing as well, Catherine, is a fair few players slipping on this surface. They go out for your warm-ups, and you have your studs in or your blades or whatever you're wearing, and then you go in and they put the sprinklers on, and then you come back out and you're slipping all over the place.
It's not a great thing to have when you're on the pitch. And what you'd find that a lot of these days is that a lot of the female players wouldn't be wearing, you know, a longer stud or a screw in what you'd call it. So it does get a little bit difficult now when going onto these pitches where they are wet by a fair bit as well, it's a tough one.
Gamal for runners in support was Gomez, who was there. Bryson looking to pick out the runner, Gomez. Victory able to clear. It's been noticeable, a few players struggling with the surface. Not one of them on that occasion. Karambassis finds Trimis. Gomez can help it on its way. Quilligan's ball. Well, I was looking for the run of Bryson, who'd come in field. It was a bad idea. Gomez nicks it away from Rachel Lowe, who's come a long way away and is penalised for a high foot. Very humid up there, up here on the coast, as it always is this time of year. Well, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong at the moment for Victory. This is a prime example. Rachel Lowe, first touch, and then went to play it forward and is penalised for the high boots. Mariners would love a second to assert their dominance. Gomez with the free kick. Sends it to the top of the area. Now Lowe can turn. Runs into Gomez. It's asked a fair bit of Martin, but she's going to get there, Annabelle Martin. And Quilligan's made a really intelligent run into the penalty area here and got there ahead of Dapalonia. Gielnik to turn. Can she load something into the box towards Gamal? Just wide of goal. But the Mariners knocking on the door again.
They sure are. What a beautiful ball in there by Gielnik, and Gamal just doesn't get the connection that she needs. But just her vision, she looks up, she sees the players in the box, and she just gets it into a dangerous area there. And Victory are very, very lucky not to go another goal behind.
Gamal scored 5 goals this season, as has Badawia, but they haven't scored in the same game. 10 goals between them, all in different matches, which is highly unusual when you've got goal scorers who score on a semi-regular basis. Gamal perhaps will feel she should have done better here. That effort from Lowe was highly ambitious. Form she's in, though, why not? Quilligan. A good start to the match. Hayward. Martin. Well, we wonder what the formation would be, Catherine, and this 5 at the back with the 2 wing-backs seems to be working well.
It does, and we know that Paige Hayward and Faye Bryson have got absolute engines to burn, and given their ability to be able to get up and down the pitch, I'm sure that Emily Husband had looked at ways that they could dominate against the Melbourne Victory, and we don't know exactly, but, you know, having someone like Rolla Badawia and Jasmine Wardlow on the bench, you know, are they carrying niggles, are they not? was it a tactical change to be able to go up against the Victory? But when you've got players like Hayward and Bryson and their ability to be able to get up and down the pitch in the way that they do, it's a great asset to have in your team.
And Paige Hayward's been really intelligent here in coming in field and creating that opening channel for Annabelle Martin to make those lung-busting runs from left side of centre-back, which he's done a couple of times. Something you'd work on training. Peeling out again. Martin to send it in towards Ergamal. Hansen got there first. Well, that's not a good ball. And the effort from Gomez is blocked by Morrison. And again, self-induced error allows Gomez to go forward. Victory trying to shake off the cobwebs of the journey, perhaps. Well, it's still only 1-0, though. There's nothing in it. You look back at the chances that Garlich's shot across the face of goal that Karen Bassis was an inch away from. Quilligan striking the top of the crossbar. Ergamal heading wide from inside the 6-yard box. Arguably, the Mariners should be more than the one ahead that they are. Morrison launches one towards Gielnik. Beaten to it by Irwin. And low. I'm not really sure whether that was supposed to be a shot. Almost worked out to be a pass to Dapolonia. As a coach and a player, though, Catherine, you've been in situations where your team's been 1-0 down, the opposition's wasted a couple of chances, and you've given away a rack of free kicks. You feel like you're on the back foot the whole time. But while it's only 1-0, there's always that chance.
Definitely, you've always got that in the back of your head. It's only 1-0. You have to ride out what's happening, and football's a game that is all about moments. And at the moment, the Central Coast Mariners have had more of the moments, and you can see here everything's just falling for the Central Coast Mariners. Everything's going against the Melbourne Victory. But if they can get themselves into half-time and get into the sheds and regroup themselves, I think going in at 1-0 down will be a positive for them. And
well, they've conceded a free kick in a dangerous position here. An umpteenth free kick of the first half. Tori Hansen this time on Ergamal. This might be a shooting opportunity. As per usual, it's the conference between Bryson, Garlich and Gomez.
You've got to love the brains trust there, working out what set play they're going to go for, and they're in control of this game. They're the ones that are dominating at the moment. Everything's going for them.
Faye Bryson looks the favourites from this angle with the right foot, but Gomez is in support should be needed. Bryson goes for goal herself, but it's not going to have the requisite dip. Fancy the chances there. Faye Bryson scored a goal this season. A 2-1 loss to the Victory in Melbourne in November, a game in which Mackenzie Wynott scored that 91st minute winner. Courier Aquino scored earlier in the game. She's on the bench tonight. There's your total shots so far, 9-4. Gielnik looking to use her pace and power to get in behind here. Emily Gielnik, real tricky customer. Almost pulled it back into an area of danger for the Mariners. And the handball will give the Victory an opportunity, perhaps, to have a strike at goal.
And we know that the Melbourne Victory got plenty of players that can have a crack from this distance as well. It's going to be interesting to see if they do go for it, or whether they're going to try and get one of their defensive players up and get a ball in behind. But you can see here Gielnik and Elise Kellen-Knight over the ball and working out what they're going to do.
It's some way from goal, and it would take some strike from here to beat a goalkeeper of Casey Dumont's quality, but those two players over the ball certainly possess it. Emily Gielnik, who before today had only played 190 minutes of football this season. Elise Kellen-Knight, who is also a dead ball expert. Who's it going to be? Could it be the left foot of Kellen-Knight? It's Gielnik who's going to take it straight into the wall, and it's been warned by Ashley Irwin right in the face, I think, and that would have been a sore one. Took one for the team there.
She sure did. She's taken plenty for this Central Coast Mariners team, and she's been fantastic for the Mariners this season.
In most minutes before today, 1,339 that she's clocked up for the Mariners. Taking a deserved rest here and getting a bit of fluid on board. Be interesting to see whether that free kick, had it been on target, would have troubled Casey Dumont.
You could just see the way Emily Gielnik and Elise Kellen-Knight were standing over that ball. You just knew that one of them were going to have a crack from that distance, and you don't want to be on the back end of a strike from Emily Gielnik. So I'm feeling sorry for Irwin at the moment.
You can't blame her for taking her time. As mentioned earlier, this is the first of a double-header here today. Mariners against Sydney. Well, that was travelling. Casey Dumont had stumbled slightly on the goal line, so possibly lucky that it took the full force with Irwin. No harm done. I think she might have to leave the field of play there, does she not?
She should do.
Yeah, having treatment for the head injury. Seems okay though. Take a lot more than that to knock Ashley Irwin out of the game. 5 minutes to the break. The Mariners lead. That early goal from Trimmis, the difference. A lead that they've deserved based on territory and dominance. You can see the possession though, it's switched slightly now in favour of Melbourne victory. Maybe that's a sign of a recovery from their point of view. Gielnik can stride away. Hayward making ground through the middle. Hansen with the important intervention. Kellen-Knight has it back again from low. But once more it's been turned over. And Gamal can't get away from Checker. Just goes to show how sometimes possession can mean very little. Casey Dumont's barely been tested with the 51% that the Victory have had, and yet with the 49% that the Mariners have had, they've created 3 or 4 good openings.
Absolutely. You've seen teams dominate the games in possession, but maybe only get into the front third, a couple of times, and maybe only have a couple of shots at goals. And possession these days, it's great if you can keep it, but you need to be scoring goals and getting into that final third to be able to create opportunities for your team.
It's not just about having the ball, is it? It's about what you do with it. Morrison, who seemed to have settled now, as we expected. Hansen. Checker trying to stretch the pitch here a bit. Morrison, bit of space to go long. Well read, though, by Faye Bryson. Rankin got a toe on it. Gielnik finds Wynett. He wanted the throw, and he's going to get it. Be a real boost for the Victory should they equalise before half-time. Started the day having dropped behind Western Sydney Wanderers after their win last night. Rankin lifting it in. Gielnik trying to bring it down. Hooked away by Trimmis. Hansen. Gielnik helped it on, but there's no one in a Victory shirt to get on the end of it. It's very congested at the top of the table there, isn't it, at the moment, Catherine?
It sure is. It's so fantastic for the league, though. It keeps things really, really exciting. You could see with the Western Sydney Wanderers last night winning, takes them into 4th place at the moment, and that's why it's super important in this game that Melbourne Victory get the 3 points, that they stay into the pack, they can overcome the Wanderers and get back into that 4th place. But having it so close just makes things so exciting for this league, and every game is just such a cracker to watch because you don't know what's going to be happening with the table.
Well, absolutely. And if you needed proof that anyone could beat anyone on their day in the league, we saw it last week in McKellar Park, didn't we? Canberra United, bottom of the table, knocking over Melbourne City at the top by 3-1. Those in green heading to Perth for the match tonight. As usual, 10 play Paramount Plus, where you can watch everything. Every kick of the football. every goal and every moment that matters. Find a way through before the half-time break. Morrison, Rankin did to lift it down the middle towards Gielnik, didn't have the height to reach the striker. 60 seconds plus stoppage time to go. Wynett held up by Bryson really well, and Karabasis is going to have to do the same under severe pressure here from Emily Gielnik. Did well, the young centre-back. In fact, won a team a throw. Look at bewilderment slightly on the face of Faye Bryson, but she'll take it. I'm sure we'll get a couple of minutes at least added on due to that injury to Irwin. Haywood's bundling into the tackle, and Bryson can launch one. Hansen can send it back whence it came. Quilligan finds Martin. Lots of run of Garlich. It's asking a lot of the midfielder. We're going to get 2 minutes of time added on, which doesn't seem overly generous.
It doesn't. We had a couple of stoppages in play, but 2 minutes is 2 minutes here, and hopefully the Central Coast Mariners can hold on to this 1-0 lead at the moment.
It'll be made up for in the second half when we get about a quarter of an hour added on at the end. Hansen. Well, having been on the back foot and conceded in the 6th minute, I think Victory will be relatively pleased that they've not gone further behind on the scoreboard. They're coming more into it as an attacking threat. Low, robbed in midfield. Chance for the Mariners, maybe one more time. Ergamal to chase. Hansen safety first. Would you say that Emily Husband will be the more pleased of the two coaches, considering that they're ahead? But Jeff Hopkins won't be too distraught.
Absolutely. I think Emily Husband will be going into this half-time break happy that she's 1-0 up, and I think the team's done really well. They started the game really strong, and it's in their favour at the moment. I'd be a little bit disappointed as well, not taking our chances, because sometimes you've got to nip games in the butt, and you could do that with the chances that they've created.
Well, they might be able to do just that with Haywood. Finds Bryson. Is there time for one more opportunity? In towards Ergamal. Ball breaks dangerously for Gomez. It's Ergamal, and she's blasted it over the bar. It took a deflection. Good piece of defending from the Victory, and they've got a corner right at the end. But Ergamal, for a moment, it broke kindly from Gomez, and it was it must have taken a touch off of Rankin.
It dropped just perfectly there for Ergamal. She's gotten herself into a great position, and lucky for that touch from Rankin in that situation, because it could have easily gotten into the back of the net there.
Well, Martin to swing it in, potentially the last action of the first half. Mariners have committed a fair few into this attack, as you would expect. It swung into the danger zone. Hansen's won the header. Might come out for Gomez to get the touch. Gielnik takes it off her toe, and that might do us for the first half. The Mariners ending it on the front foot, Catherine, and deservedly 1-0 up. Or are we still playing? Is that a free kick? I think he's given a free kick. I've gone a bit early. Can't be that much longer to go then. We played a minute more than the 2 that we were promised. And there we go. Question still remains. So the Mariners ended on the front foot, as I was saying, after starting on the front foot.
They sure did. They've been fantastic in this first half. They've done really well, the way they've kept their structure and the way they started the game. They started so strong, and they've created more of the chances out of the two teams. And to be honest, they should be more than 1-0 up.
Ergamal might have scored twice. Peter Trimmis did after the 6th minute. Got the only goal of the game. And at half-time here at Institute Group Stadium in Gosford, it's Central Coast Mariners 1, Melbourne Victory 0. check out the highlights of the first half. And here's the goal. The ball played into the area, and, well, Gielnik Rankin won't want to look back on that one with any great fondness.
She sure wouldn't, but it was a fantastic ball into that back post, and Peter Trimmis has just done really well to be able to blindside Jamila Rankin there and get something on it and gets the Mariners up 1-0, which is important for her team.
Martin's ball in, it's just a stick of the leg, wasn't it? Stab at it and loops its way past Newborn for the only goal of the first half. The Mariners might have had more. There was chances for Ergamar with a header and a shot towards the end, and the stats coming up will tell you that. 11 shots to 5 in favour of the Mariners, 2 on target, and they're pretty much dominant in all of the areas that matter except possession.
Yeah, the Central Coast Mariners have been fantastic from the get-go. They've started the game really well, and you can see by the amount of shots that they've had in this game that they have created more of the opportunities. And again, they're only 1-0 up, and it could be a lot more, but I think Melbourne Victory can go into the break being a little bit lucky in this first half.
Yeah, they've yet to hit a shot on target, Melbourne Victory, but you would not count them out at all. Peter Trimmis' goal after 6 minutes, the difference here at the break. Welcome back to Industry Group Stadium, where the yellow and blue smoke billows across the ground, and the teams come out for the second half, with the Mariners leading by that goal from Peter Trimmis after 6 minutes. I'm Russ Gibbs. Catherine Canooly's with me as well. Catherine, the first half in which defensively the Victory were a little bit slapdash at times. They
sure were. They were very poor defensively. They didn't look like they were being reactive to anything. They were just really not there in especially the first 15 minutes of the game. They were struggling, and then you could see as the game went on that more of the players were starting to come a little bit deeper to try and get on the ball. You could see at least Kelly Knight coming super deep, and you can see here for the Central Coast Mariners, though, they put balls into dangerous areas, and Peter Trimmis at the back post there, she just gets blindsided there. Jamila Rankin not knowing where her player is, and they've got to be better in this situation.
But from Trimmis' point of view, you take a gamble and sometimes it comes off.
100% you do. You'll always get yourself into dangerous areas, and being the striker, you're in control there, and she's just done everything she possibly could to get into that dangerous area and get something on it, and gets her team in front, and they're in the lead now coming to this second half.
Well, if you're looking for an omen and you're a Melbourne Victory fan, 4 of the 6 matches that the Mariners have lost this season have ended in a 2-1 defeat. So they always score, but sometimes concede. Let's look at this comparison between the two skippers, Gielnik and Morrison. You can see that Kelly Morrison's had plenty more touches of the ball and far more passing accuracy, but it's the duels that's the important one in this scenario.
For sure, and you can see here it's unlikely for, Kayla Morrison, and to see her not win a duel in 45 minutes of football is very unusual for her. Obviously, her passing is a lot higher. She's a centre-back. They'd like to play out from the back, and it'll be interesting to see how this second half pans out, but you know that the Melbourne Victory need players like Kayla Morrison to be in a good situation in terms of her ability to be able to drive the team forward from that back line.
No doubt she will have a much more controlled second half. We had a false start there to start the second period. Here is Morrison, first pass of the second half. The Victory with Gielnik looking to bring it forward. Rankin happy to go back to Morrison. It's a damning statistic in the first half that the Victory did not get one shot on target in the first 45 minutes, and I'm sure Jeff Hopkins would have been asking them to rectify that sooner rather than later, to test Casey Dumont to the full.
You'd be disappointed if you're Jeff Hopkins going in at half-time, and having the team that you do in Melbourne Victory and not having a shot on target is disappointing, but they have another 45 minutes here where they can get themselves back into the game, and I'm sure that with the quality of players and the experience in this Melbourne Victory team, they should be able to do that.
Plenty of time to do so. On the bench, Jessica Nash, Alana Murphy, Korea Okono, Leah Privatelli, the outfield options for the Victory. For the Mariners, Rhoda Badawia, Annalise Rasmussen, Jasmine Wardlow and Kaya Simon. They're not short of firepower either, should they need to turn to the bench. We will see some of that cast list at some stage, no doubt. Low. Gielnik to spin away and look for Rankin. Gielnik up against Quilligan, who hit the crossbar in the first half. An improvised effort from a long way out. Hansen. Lowe likes to drop into those pockets. Checker will settle for the throw. Already 2 minutes and a bit into the second half, feels a far more controlled Victory efforts. Checker to look for Gielnik. Keller Knight to snap into that tackle and win it back. Checker again. Been forced backwards here by Trimmis. Had to get the weight of the pass right for Dumont. Quilligan didn't really know where that was, but it bounced nicely for Gomez. Hayward's made the run ahead. Space here for Trimmis. On that left foot to deliver it into the area. Hansen, not for the first time, gets a head in the way, and Checker can complete the clearance. Quilligan onto the loose ball. And has it again. Nicely built up here. Trimmis looking for the exchange of passes with Hayward to send it across the 6-yard box. Morrison away. And as far as Gomez, Trimis with a snapshot, didn't get hold of it enough, but a threat from the Mariners in the early stages of the second 45.
That was a great passage of play there from the Mariners, that ball in from Trimis. What a great weighted ball there, and a great forward run from Haywood. It was just unfortunate she couldn't get her foot around it and be able to get a bit of a stronger ball across the face of the goal there.
Checker, and pressure from Trimis. Quilligan putting pressure on Kellen Knight as well, and the Mariners have won it back well. But Kellen Knight, well, experience wins out in the end. Wanted a foul there. Wasn't given. Mackenzie Wynott went down under the challenge. Martin's ball back and then it's lofted forward. Quilligan, bit of a shirt pull on Wynott, but she got away with that, and here comes Garlic. Two to her right for Bianca Garlic. Ergamal is one of them. And that's where it's gone. Ergamal runs into the challenger Wynott. Promising move, broke down there. Not sure whether Bianca Garlic was in two minds, whether to pass it to Ergamal or take aim. Checker. Gielnik couldn't turn it around the corner. Nice idea, didn't work though. And Irwin can bring it forward. Ergamal may have strayed here, but the flag stayed down. Trimis is in support. Two in the middle to aim for. Irwin further back, stayed up from her run forward. Has come back for Irwin to bend one. There was a clash in the middle of the park just prior to that as well. Gielnik ended up on the turf. I was watching the shot of Irwin. Was that a bit of friendly fire? The replay perhaps will tell us. It was.
Even though she gets taken out by Wynott there, she's on the ground, she's having a little laugh, and she just got a little bit blindsided there by Wynott.
Be asking for a yellow card for that if it was the other way around, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, you would be.
It created the opening for Ashley Irwin as well, and one of all the Mariners players to trial up from the edge of the penalty area. Ashley Irwin would be the least likely, you would imagine. Hasn't scored a goal this season, not surprising from central defence. But she foraged forward here. Got a bit lucky with the ricochet and the bounce, but then the strike wasn't too bad, was it?
She sure did, and she just seen that there was an opening there. She had space in front of her, and she just cracks it from that area.
Yeah, why not have a pop? Alex Gielnik's okay. We'll start with the drop ball. Mariners have lost 2 of their last 3 matches after losing 1 of their 6 games in the competition prior to that span. They'd went through and drawn 2 before then. Looking to get back into the winner's circle today. Checker and Wynott left that for each other, and they're lucky to get a throw out of it in the end. We were talking off air about some of the stats as well, which we'll ask you about in a minute. Catherine, Bianca Garlic, one of them, as Checker's going to throw this into the area. Gielnik stabbed away 47 shots this season, the most of any player yet to score a goal. We thought it was pretty surprising.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, isn't it, to see that Bianca Garlic has had 47 shots and hasn't scored a goal. I'm pretty sure she's got an XG of like 2.83, and it's just crazy to know that she's getting in those situations but hasn't put one in the back of the net yet. So I'm sure once she does, the celebrations are going to be quite high for Bianca Garlic and the Central Coast Mariners.
Yeah, surely it's only a matter of time for Garlic. Here she is in possession, looking to spin the creative side of her tail. Gielnik is going to have a chance to run here, Emily Gielnik, and when she gets going, she's difficult to stop. Emily Gielnik stopped by Dumont, and a clearance, well, calmness personified at the back by Martin. But Gielnik, first real shot in anger that Casey Dumont had to deal with.
It is, and Emily Gielnik here has done really well. She's used her strength and her speed that she has, and she's gotten that little touch pass and at least gotten a shot on target and putting Casey Dunon in a position where she has to make a save.
You guys were looking at the replay at home when Wynett stuck the foot out to nick that ball away beautifully to set Gielnik on her way. Well, maybe that's the spark that will light victory in an attacking sense. Karambassis dicing with danger, leaving that for Gielnik when she's hanging around. The big striker's got it back. Gielnik again. And there's one of those slips that we were talking about in the first half on this surface. Rankin. Hope Gielnik's not done herself damage there. Kellen Knight nowhere to go. Dapollonia's won it back though. Gielnik was slow to get to her feet there. Learning for Tiana Karambassis that sometimes you can shepherd the ball out of play, but when Emily Gielnik's around, it's best to play it.
It sure is. You don't want to leave anything to chance when someone like Emily Gielnik is around. She uses her body roll to be able to regain the ball, and she's done just that.
Checker having the shirt dragged off her back by Trimmis. Advantage played, of course. There's your second half possession stats, and victory having the most of it. Quilligan trying to calm it down from Mariners' viewpoint. Trimmis helps it on its way. It wasn't a bad ball either, and a chance perhaps for the Mariners to get into gear through Galich. 3F in support. 4 back. Ergamal up against Hansen. Backing herself, Ergamal. Not a bad ball into the area either. And the Mariners victory at full stretch rather. Bag of tricks, Ergamal.
What a beautiful ball that was from Peter Trimmis, that little round the corner, and then Ergamal gets herself into this situation here and looks for the cut back, and just unfortunate that Central Coast Mariners don't have the numbers in the box.
Here's Ergamal again, looking to tee up Quilligan from this range. She hit the bar in the first half at the other ends. Finds Bryson, blocked off by Dapollonia. It's not particularly hot here today, is it? But it's quite humid on the coast. You can see it by the fact that the players' jerseys sticking to them, putting the shift in, of course. 10 minutes of the second half go on. The Mariners still lead by that early first half goal. Rankin popped one off to Chiliak, who did well under pressure. Gielnik finds Dapollonia. One back by Paige Hayward. To back her pace against Kellen Knight. Rankin back to help out. It's an interesting aside for you, Catherine. When we got the team kit lineups today, Melbourne Victory was supposed to be in their blue. But obviously it's a little bit too close to the Mariners. Probably a good call to switch to this one.
They normally work that out during the week and you get told what you're wearing, and there could have been a clash, or you never know what could happen behind the scenes. The team manager could have forgotten the kit at home. You never know what could happen.
It seems to be much easier for us and for everybody at home in these colours. Rankin showed too much of it to Bryson. He'll come for Hayward. Crowd in, making a fair bit of noise. Hayward, good turn. Nice ball in as well. Morrison, nice clearance. And Hansen completes it. There's no one in a Victory shirt to pick up the loose ball, and Irwin can bring it forward again. First time clipping from Martin, not quite as accurate as the ball that created the goal.
You can just see the way Central Coast Mariners set themselves up defensively.
Well, here goes Rachel Lowe in behind. Haven't seen much of her as an attacking threat. And the ball in, well, Annabelle Martin in between. Both Wynett and Gielnik's got rid of it, and it needed to be dealt with.
It sure did, and what a quality ball that was from Rachel Lowe. And she comes in, sorry,
Dapollonia, my apologies.
Dapollonia there great ball in behind the Central Coast Mariners defence. It's just unfortunate Emily Gielnik couldn't get something else on it.
I've thrown you a curveball there. That was my fault. Here is Lowe. Beaten to it by Quilligan, who can send it forward. Gamal was, unfortunately for her, facing the wrong way. Couldn't turn in time. Hansen. Checker's got time, but has to go backwards. Tactically, this formation has been spot on so far from Emily Husband. Checker. Step in field, and then a loose pass. Now it's Martin to bring it forward. Gielnik, all action as usual. It's very structured, this Mariners setup, isn't it, as Morrison plays it forward. No real press on the centre-backs, letting them play those long balls.
They do, and they play to their strengths. Emily Husband's done really well in allowing the players to understand their roles and their responsibilities and play to the strengths of the players that they've got. And when they do win the ball, they look to keep it. But in defence, they're so well structured, they're so well versed in the way that they know their roles and their responsibilities. And you can see it not only when Melbourne Victory are playing out, but when they set up from throw-ins, from free kicks, everybody knows exactly where they need to be.
Well, I saw in the bottom of your screen, you can see, or we can see, a couple of Central Coast Mariners substitutes potentially on the way, and one of them I think was Cara Simon. Keep an eye on that. And a checker with the throw, there you can see, getting some instructions. And Matilda striker. Entry may be imminent. Gielnik. Taking route one towards goal, couldn't link up with Wynett. Not quite coming off Emily Gielnik at the moment.
It hasn't been Emily's day today, and I think sometimes again a little bit of frustrations from the striker when you get into positions and not getting that fluency in that front third. And again, we talk about getting back to basics and getting back to the simple style of playing football and just connecting and combining with the rest of your midfield and your forward line. It just hasn't been working for Em Gielnik today.
Not working for one Matilda striker, it might work out for another. Interested to see what this change is by Emily Husband. Double change, it appears, on its way for the home side. Hayward wins a header. Just past the hour mark. Tremendous goal, the difference between these two teams. As Cara Simon gets ready to join us. Kellen Knight sends it forward. Gielnik in a battle. One back by Karambasis. Well, Gielnik's been far more involved in the second half than she was in the first. Might be the victory's key to getting back into this. Owen finds Martin. One back by Checker. Annelies Rasmussen, I think it was down there as well, wasn't it, Catherine, that's about to join us as well?
I think it was Roller Badawia.
Was it Roller? Couldn't see from the number, we'll have a look back. Double striking change. I wonder what that will do to the formation. All these questions we'll answer in shortly. Hansen finds Morrison. Hansen again. Spell of possession for Victory. Going to see As Catherine says, Rola Badawia, 5 goals this season. Started every game before today. We discussed at the top of the broadcast whether it was a surprise that she wasn't in the lineup. She's going to have the best part of 25 minutes plus stoppage time or so to force her way back in next week, perhaps. Hansen. Wynett finds Kellen Knight. Gielnik wants it. Could she find a burst of energy and a burst of pace? Looking for Checker. Trimis for company. Difficult one for Emma Checker to deliver. Does pretty well to send it into the area. Victory want to get on with it. Jeff Hopkins does anyway. Appears that Jessica Nash is getting ready for the Victory down there as well. And here's the changes. It's the goal scorer Trimis that's coming off for Kaya Simon, and Rola Badawia is coming on for Tess Quilligan. Make of that what you will in terms of the formation change, Catherine Canulli. It's a bold move.
It is, but it's a substitution that Emily Husband looks to make, and you need to be injecting players like Kaya Simon and Rola Badawia. We know they're only up 1-0 at the moment, but to have 2 players with the quality of Kaya Simon and Rola Badawia to be able to come off the bench is very exciting for the Central Coast Mariners and quite terrifying for the Melbourne Victory.
It was the first involvement for Simon to lay it back. Hayward's chasing this. Morrison calm with the ball back to Courtney Newborn. Badawia's taken up a position on the left. And her direct running might cause some problems. Garlich, here is Badawia in that position to deliver it into the middle. Newborn under pressure. Did well, the goalkeeper. Not often you score a goal like Badawia did last week and then find yourself on the bench, is it, Catherine? But obviously the tactics for this particular game has worked a treat so far.
Absolutely, you don't normally see that. It's either obviously a tactical change or...
Well, Gielnik's on the way through. What about that for a finish? Well, pick that one out. Threatened earlier in the day, and Emily Gielnik lashes one into the top corner, and just like that, the Victory are back on terms. Don't give her too many chances, because she'll take them.
She sure will. What a strike by Emily Gielnik. That's what she's used to doing. She can put balls in the back of the net like that, and she's taken this game into her own hands. She knows that she had to pull something out for her team, and she drives forward and just absolutely rockets that ball into the back of the net.
A thunderous drive from Emily Gielnik, and it's brought the Victory level just as they're going to make a couple of changes. A super equaliser from Emily Gielnik. Emma Checker and Sarah D'Apollonia have gone off. Jessica Nash is one of the replacements that's come on in amongst all of that. We'll endeavour to find out who the other one was. But Emily Gielnik has brought the team's level with a spectacular equaliser. A full hour after Peter Trimis had given them the lead, Leah Privatelli is the second change. And some equaliser.
It sure was, and it was exactly what the Melbourne Victory needed. They needed one of their players to step up and take the matters into their own hands, and you could see that Gielnik has been trying to do that all game, and Emily Gielnik here has come up with the goods and drives away forward and just rockets that ball into the back of the net. What a beautiful finish.
And here's a chance for Privatelli, who's just come on. Gielnik to lay it off. Life in the Victory. Nash back for Kellen Knight. Morrison. Good punchy ball laid off by Gielnik. Gielnik wants to go as well, and Dumont is forced to spoon that one past the post. Spat up the turf in front of her, and all of a sudden momentum has shifted to the visitors.
That's what happens in football. Momentum changes, and that Emily Gielnik goal is something that gives the Victory plenty of confidence. And Gielnik here, you can see she gets herself in that position where she can unleash that strike, and again it gets them back on top now with this bit of momentum that they've got going for them.
Kellen Knight with the corner kick. Can she find the right delivery? It's not a bad one into that 6-yard box. Could have gone anywhere. That goal was by Gielnik. Took a deflection off of Badawia. And there'll be another corner on the other side.
We know at least Kellen Knight's got a beautiful left foot, and the way that she can curl that ball in from the corner. She goes to the opposite side now, and we're going to get a bit of a different look with an outswinger. It was just unfortunate there from Kayla Morrison. She gets up, gets the height, but doesn't make the connection that she needs.
And Kellen Knight with the set piece again. Rachel Lowe's taken up a position on the top of the box. Swung into the near post. Dumont got a fist on it. Gielnik back for Kellen Knight. Chance to reload into the penalty area. Away at the near post by Bryson. The whistle's gone. Must have been offside or a foul in the middle. But suddenly Melbourne Victory feel like they're on the front foot. Did mention that 4 of the 6 matches the Mariners have lost this season have ended 2-1. They don't want to make that 5 from 7. You did mention it in the first half, though, Catherine, when we were talking about the chances that they created. If you don't take those chances, it can come back to bite you.
It sure does, and that's what's happened here in this game now. And we always say football is a game of 2 halves, and you can't underestimate a team like Melbourne Victory. They've got plenty of quality across the whole pitch, and we know that there's plenty of experience across the team. And when they're back into a game like this, you can see how the goal has absolutely lifted this team, and it's going to be an exciting 30 minutes left in this game.
In Liberty A-League, you just do not know what's going to happen. That looks offside against Gamal. The assistant agrees. In this congested ladder, every goal is vital. Melbourne Victory have made a habit of leaving it late and getting into winning positions. 3 stoppage time goals this season. Broke Mariners' hearts last time with a 91st minute winner. Will it be deja vu? Or will Cara Simon have something to say about it? Here is Simon. Goes for goal herself. Gamal was in the middle, but you can't blame Cara Simon from that angle. Seen her do that a few times.
We sure have, and we know that Kaya Simon definitely has that in her locker. And again, you know, she hasn't played much football across these last 12 months, so to see her back on the pitch is absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure she gets a little bit excited when she gets into those dangerous areas.
Here's Badawia looking for Gamal, but the pass didn't have enough pace to get past Hansen. Lovely touch from Gielnik. Lowe left it behind in the first instance. There was a yellow card there for Kayla Morrison for some reason. Must have been dissent, perhaps. Come back to that later anyway. Victory with the Wynot. Wynot again looking to get the shot away, and it's going to test Casey Dumont. I'm not sure what happened there. Faye Bryson's gone down with what might have been a roll of the left ankle. I'm not sure what happened to Bryson there. Just looked a bit awkward when she turned.
Looked like she just rolled her ankle over, and it just struggled to get back up there, but she's back up on her feet, which is good to see.
Jessica Nash, who came on just after the goal. The equalizer from Gielnik, worth watching again. Stunning strike into the top corner from the number 9. The goalkeeper of Casey Dumont's class could only stand there and watch and admire it as it nestled into that top corner. Sometimes there's nothing a goalkeeper can do. Free kick goes the way of the Victory. Jessica Nash upended. 17 minutes and a bit to go, plus stoppage time. Are we going to find a winner? Gielnik Badawia stuck out a long leg and finds Kara Simon. Gielnik. Bryson looks fully recovered and is sprinting down that right flank. Looking for the delivery into the middle. Simon's arriving. Hansen wins that header. Won it. My apologies. They've won it back again. Nash. Gielnik. 1-2 Privatelli, upended by Gomez. Free kick, and Gomez might see yellow here, and she does. Isabel Gomez gets a yellow card. One apiece in that regard, and a sore one for Alex Gielnik. Catch it again here, Catherine, not much doubt. Gomez gave herself up. Definite
yellow card there. They've been at it all game, and we know Isabel Gomez defensively, she's always so tough, and it's hard to defend against a player like Gielnik. You know, she's so silky on the ball, and she's just caught her there in the back of the ankle, and you can see the frustrations on Gielnik's face, and it's been happening majority of this game.
We mentioned in the first half she won the most fouls by the team in only 6 matches, 5 starts and 1 substitute appearance before today, and that's why she's so good in tight spaces and wriggling away from opponents and drawing that foul. Hansen clips one forward, looking for Gielnik. Angles acute. Looking for Gielnik with a back heel. Nice idea. Victory playing with a bit of panache now and a bit of, well, I was going to say, a bit of more accuracy, and then they kick it out of play. Commentator's curse, of course.
Of course, and it has been better. They're starting to look to combine. You could see even with the Gielnik foul just before, you could see Privatelli looking for those 1-2s, looking to progress the ball forward, and they have been a lot better in this second half.
Gielnik finds low. Kellen Knight got there ahead of Badawia. Morrison sweeps it out to that left flank. The ball in is going to find its way to Privatelli here, who's lifted it towards the far post, and Dumont claws it away. It was arcing overhead and dropping in the top corner. Good save from Casey Dumont.
Fantastic save there by Casey Dumont. The way that ball was looking like it was about to float over her head, but the way she's gotten her arm up and over, she's done really, really well in that situation.
Jamila Rankin's been penalised. Ball over the top, and it found its way to Privatelli, and I think, to be fair, she was looking for the cross towards the far post for Gielnik. It almost turned into the ultimate scross. Dumont had other ideas. Gielnik. Well, it took Victory a long time to get into their stride today, but they're finishing strongly. Whilst in the first half, Catherine, we thought it was only a matter of time before the Mariners added a second. At the moment, well, it's hard to pick which way this one's going.
Absolutely, the Mariners have been a little bit quiet in this second half in terms of creating and getting those opportunities in that front third, but you've got to give credit where credit's due, and the Melbourne Victory have been a lot better in this second half.
Kara Simon's ball just a bit too weighty for Ergamal. Emily Husband deep in thought. Twisted her pack by bringing on a couple of strikers and deployed them in different areas of the park. Kara Simon playing in a central midfield role near enough, and Rola Badawia out on that left flank. Gielnik looking to send it towards Privatelli, who has it anyway. Low. Beaten to it by Gielnik. Ergamal's touch. Now Badawia can stretch those legs and drive at the heart of the Melbourne Victory defence. And it's opened up for Rola Badawia, who just drags her shot wide of goal. Her eyes lit up as she entered the penalty area and couldn't quite get the shot on target.
They sure do, and we know that she is so prolific in this area here. She drives at plays, she drives into the space, and She looked to slot that ball into the back post, but you could see Paige Hayward was super disappointed that that ball didn't come across the face of the goal for her.
Yeah, Emily Gielnik's afternoon is run. Her goal. Well, I'll be watching that one over and over again. Great finish from Emily Gielnik. Alana Murphy has come on. And there's a change as well. Paige Hayward's number 4's gone off, and Annalise Rasmussen, I think, is coming on. Or Rasmussen for Ergamal. I think it must be Jasmine Wardlow then who's come on for Hayward's. So the 2 changes. Annalise Rasmussen on for Ergamal, and Jasmine Wardlow for Paige Hayward. Bench emptied for the Mariners as they seek a winner. Alana Murphy on for Emily Gielnik. Newborn sends it forward. Won by Martin. Crowd announced here as 4,500, which is a really good turn-up. Mariners Sydney FC to follow in the Zuzu A-League, of course. It's the second big crowd we've had in successive days. 4,000 out of Bathurst last night, wasn't it?
How amazing have these crowd numbers been, and I think it was fantastic by the APL and the Western Sydney Wanderers to take that game to Bathurst, and Bathurst Council getting behind it. A lot of our teams from Southern Districts Football Association are out at the Proctor Cup, and there's a lot of young aspiring Liberty A-League players there, so to be able to watch their heroes in Bathurst while they're playing in a great competition there, I think it's fantastic to see these games go out to these regional areas as well.
Shout out to your SD Districts team, who had a good win.
They sure did. They've won 6 from 6 today, so it's been a good Saturday.
Doing something right in the coaching and technical department there. Pat the back for yourself, Catherine, and your coaching staff. Keller Knight, Balawia's switch wings. Keller Knight, a little handoff in the face of Faye Bryson, who felt that one. And a yellow card for Elise Keller Knight for her troubles. Faye Bryson didn't appreciate the handoff. Like something you might see in the Six Nations later on. Elise Keller Knight can't believe she was carded for it. Gives the Mariners an opportunity from this set piece. In towards Simon, who climbed high, beaten to it by Morrison. Privatelli. And stab it up towards Chidiak, who almost got away. Ashley Owen halting her progress. Jasmine Wardlow happy to go backwards. Gets it back from Dumont. Wardlow. Martin helps it round the corner. Great strength and run from Rasmussen. Bounces off Hansen. The crowd appreciated it as well. Martin to swing it into the far post, and it almost came for Bryson. But Annalise Rasmussen, a little cameo of what she can bring.
It sure is. She's so strong. She uses her body so well when she gets into those situations. And to see the Central Coast youngster be able to come off the bench and show what she's got, I think it's great to see the talent that's coming through the Central Coast. She's come through the Central Coast Academy program. She's been there as a junior, and to see her in the Central Coast Mariners side is just a credit to not only the Central Coast Academy, but again, I'll mention again, Daniel Barrett, who's done a fantastic job with a lot of these youngsters that are coming through the Central Coast Mariners Academy.
So 12th appearance of the season off the bench. Annalise Rasmussen started 2 on top of that as well. Isabel Gomez doing the defensive work there. Keller Knight. Chidiak. Gomez won it back. Simon. Badawia ahead. Simon's gone for the chip from a long way out. And almost found Courtney Newborn wanting. Didn't quite dip from Kaya Simon, but a majestic effort nonetheless.
How good was that from Kaya Simon? That's what she brings to this competition, and that's what she brings to the Central Coast Mariners. We know that she has that in her locker, and she's seen that Courtney Newborn was off her line, and she knew she was going to have a go from there. And I've played with Kaya Simon for many years, and I know that she's definitely scored plenty of them in her career.
The vision to try the efforts. Gielnik has won it back. Balawia just ran away from her. Hansen again imperious defensively. It's been a good afternoon for Tori Hansen. Wardlow, flat delivery, won by Kellen Knight. Gielnik tried to play it to herself, but Wardlow's won it back. It's coming together. Here's Irwin. As you can see, the Victory having the better of the possession, but Mariners coming home with a wet sail. Perhaps they can nick it. Simon. Good run from Bryson. Rasmussen. Cross blocked in the first instance. Time to send in a second, but we'll have to settle for the corner. Made a good impact, Rasmussen, from both flanks.
You always have that fire in your belly when you come on as a substitution, and especially as a youngster playing in front of your home crowd. You're always going to want to get something out of it, and we've seen her be able to score winners before for the Central Coast Mariners, and I'm sure she'll want to be wanting to do it again.
And Morrison and Rankin doing the defensive work. Bryson swings in towards Rasmussen, who met the volley. It's going to drop dangerously inside the 6-yard box. Could go anywhere. Unfortunately for the Mariners, they couldn't get it on target. Bassett up from the back. Try to level best to keep it in play. Melbourne Victory, no strangers to draws. 8 last season. This will be their 5th if it stays this way. Move them on to 23 points. In that crowded race for the top 6. And even potentially the title. Melbourne City and Sydney FC in action, of course, today. The good news for those around them all, Catherine, is they both can't win, can they, when they're playing each other?
Exactly. It keeps things really interesting in this competition, and that's been the exciting part this season. We've got the extended season, more games, you see more goals, you see more opportunities to be able to win the league, and it's been so exciting.
There's still plenty of matches left to come as well. Kuria Aquino getting some words of tactical advice from Jeff Hopkins. It's a chance. And the shot goalwards is tipped over the crossbar. Wynot it was. Well, as Aquino was about to come on, Wynot's got the left foot effort away, and Dumont's been called into action again.
She sure has, and Alana Murphy's done really well here. She plays Wynot into her favoured left foot there, and she strikes that ball, and Casey Dumont's come up with a very important save for the Central Coast Mariners.
Will Jeff Hopkins make the change at the corner? It's the 5th Victory corner of the afternoon. And I think Rachel Lowe isn't going to add to her run of 5 goals in 5 games. She's making way for Kuria Aquino, who scored the first goal. The last time these two met, just prior to the hour in November last year. Not chance her getting her first touch in the penalty area. 3 minutes to go. Murphy, flat delivery to the near post, hooked away by Bryson. Both sides will point to opportunities that they've had to win this. Murphy. A bit to go backwards. Morrison. Hansen. Slide rule ball. It's been played wide for Privatelli to send it in. Murphy. Aquino's first touch was a good one. Nash sent it in, and there's Wynot again. Couldn't quite direct it goalwards. Well, with the substitutions, Catherine, you can't say that either side have settled for the point here, have they?
They sure haven't. Both teams are going for it and wanting to get those 3 points out of the games. I think the substitutions have made some positive impacts on both teams, and this game has been super exciting, and it's going to go all the way down to the last second of this match.
Can we find a winner here on the coast? Confirmation of the change for you, Rachel Lowe. How many sights of goal today that I can remember? Aquino, get there eventually. Aquino in the end. Get a chance. Here is Aquino. Gielnik. Privatelli. Down under the challenge of Wardlow, but it was a good one from the Mariners replacement. Gomez. Bryson. Simon. Looking for Rasmussen. Morrison should be able to tidy that up. Much more accomplished second half from Kayla Morrison, as we expected. Nice turn by Aquino. Won it. Looking to twist and turn. Calambassis for company. Can Callan Knight find the delivery into the middle? It's a good one. Aquino was running in, but Dumont was there. And as we enter, what, the last 15 seconds or so, plus stoppage time. One chance might win it. Might it come from the Mariners? Gomez driving forwards and then ran into Tori Hansen. Simon had made the run. I'm not sure Isabel Gomez was caught in two minds.
I think she was. You can see after it all fell apart for her, she's got her hands on her head. She's a little bit frustrated in her decision-making in that area. You could see that she had Kaya Simon to one side, and she wasn't too sure in what she was about to play through at that situation.
Well, we got 5 minutes, and it might be the victory on the charge. Aquino has found Wynett, but it didn't have the pace to trouble Dumont and Julie. A tired-looking hit from Mackenzie Wynett, and you can't blame her. She's run a shift tonight. They won it in the 91st minute in Melbourne, and it was Wynett, almost deja vu.
It almost was. It was a great ball by Aquino into Wynett, and again, she looks absolutely exhausted when she takes that shot on goal. It just wasn't enough to trouble Casey Dumont.
Yeah, talk about a leggy finish. Just couldn't summon the power. Dumont's been in good form today. Nothing she could do about the equaliser, scored by Emily Gielnik. Exactly an hour after Peter Trimmis had given the Mariners lead. Gielnik's finish from the top draw. Nash with the throw. Aquino's thigh, presenting it to Privatelli. Wynett beaten in the air by Calambassis. Gomez. Victory have it back. Murphy finds Nash. Looking for the ball in behind here. Defensive work done by Ashley Irwin. Hansen. Good touch, Aquino. Gielnik. Can she find some magic? It's a good ball through. It's Wynett, and it's saved by Dumont again. Wynett should have won it, but Casey Dumont, well, she had other ideas. Rankin, opportunities there again, and this time Dumont is there to deny Aquino. The shot was blocked, and if Ricochet could have gone anywhere, and the victory, well, they might have stolen it.
They nearly could have stolen the show there, the Melbourne victory, but Casey Dumont's done really, really well there to be able to deny the Melbourne victory team. You can see Casey's just trying to encourage her team now just to get the ball further up the pitch. And
well, here's the replay again, and again it was a tired-looking effort from the substitute this time. Didn't get any power to trouble Dumont. And the Mariners have got themselves a corner We played 3 minutes of the 5 added on. We had a chance at the other end for the Victory to steal it. Perhaps it's the Mariners' turn. Annabelle Martin with the third Mariners corner of the afternoon. I should say early evening now. Only one in the 6-yard box. Everybody else is from the late run. Martin swings it to that near post. And she'll get a second bite of the cherry. Bryson's gone near post. Simon's taken up a nice looking position on this penalty box. Is it in the script for Kaya Simon? Martin to that near post. Bryson got half a touch on it. It's prodded away. Aquino can't get there. Gomez has it for the Mariners. Karambasis, Gomez. Opportunity to send it in. Plenty of yellow shirts in there. They're going to get another corner. 7 up in this attack.
What an exciting finish to this match. Both teams are looking to go for it.
All it needs is one good delivery from Faye Bryson. Swings it in. Rasmussen leaps with Simon. Smashed away by the Victory. Irwin to send it back in. And maybe on the break, or Gielnik hits her on the heels, otherwise she might have been away. They still might be away. Aquino, Gielnik's in behind. Irwin with a vital interception. Needed to make that. Otherwise, Alex Gielnik was galloping through on goal.
Very, very lucky there that it hits Gielnik on the back of the heel there. Otherwise, the Melbourne Victory are away. You could see there in transition. Central Coast Mariners send all those players up.
Well, both teams went hammer and tongs at trying to get the winner, but neither can. And it's a stalemate here, Catherine Canuli, and perhaps on the evidence of the play, a fair result.
I think one point each in this game is a fair result. I think the Central Coast Mariners were a much better team in the first 45 minutes. They dominated the game. We know that the Melbourne Victory didn't have a shot off on target, but the Melbourne Victory, credit to them, they came out in the second half and had a much better 45 minutes in that second part of the game.
Peter Trimmis with the poacher's goal after 6 minutes for the Mariners, cancelled out by a worldie from Emily Gielnik, thrashing it into the top corner in the 66th minute, which means a final score here at Industry Group Stadium. On the coast, it's Central Coast Mariners 1, Melbourne Victory 1. Checking out the highlights. Here's the first goal, Catherine. Ball in from Martin, and there's the poacher's instincts from Trimmis.
It was a great ball in from Martin, and Peter Trimmis has done fantastic at that back post. And again, we spoke about Jamila Rankin being blindsided, but that's what you need to do. You need to poach. You don't always score screamers like Emily Gielnik does here.
Yeah, exactly like we just saw from Gielnik. Different type of goal, thumps it in the top corner. Not a chance for Dumont.
No chance for Casey Dumont in that situation there, and Emily Gielnik's absolute world class. You can see when Jessica Nash and Privatelli come on, the bit of combination down that right hand side, and Privatelli trying to loft one over, and Kai Simon, he backs herself from distance, which we know we've seen her score plenty of goals in this competition and around the world. That
would have been the story, wouldn't it? But there was chances at the other ends. There was one for Mackenzie Wienert, rather. They're pushed over by Dumont. She had a couple of opportunities. Aquino had this one as well. Dumont to the rescue.
She sure did, and one had plenty of opportunities. She had a couple there where she could have put the ball in the back of the net, but it just wasn't her afternoon today in Central Coast.
Here's the numbers for you. The possession, Melbourne Victory better in the second half. Total shots, look at that. 39 shots, 8 on target for the Victory, 3 for the Coast. Pretty even elsewhere as it was towards the end of the first half, and 1-1 probably fair.
I think it was. I think the 1-1 scoreline is probably fair for both teams. You can see that the Melbourne Victory, in terms of the stats, crawled themselves back into the game. And again, it's a credit to them that they could pick themselves up in that second half. But the Central Coast as well, they'll be kicking themselves, thinking back on this game and the opportunities that they missed in that first half.
Really positive substitutions as well from both teams. Thanks very much, Catherine Canuli, for joining myself, Russ Gibbs, for this one. It's been a cracking match, and honours very much even at the end of the day. It's finished. Central Coast Mariners 1, Melbourne Victory 1.